Hello everyone, welcome back. This week's interview is with a player who's competed at the top of VCT EMEA and was one of our recent Ascension contenders. He's been rumoured to make that place in the top flight permanent in the off-season, but there's no one better to talk about it than the man himself. I'm of course speaking with BaddyG from Acend. BaddyG, great to have you here on the channel. If you could introduce yourself, welcome to the video.
Thanks for having me. It's me, BaddyG. Let's see what questions you bring today.
Okay. Getting straight into it. First question, we'll start all the way back at the beginning. How was it that you first got into esports? I know that different players have different stories of how they began in gaming. I want to know how BaddyG got into where he is today, playing VALORANT.
Well, it all started like even before esports. I was playing football. You know,
Okay.
I got injury. And during the injury, when I had to lay in my bed with broken leg, I just started playing CSGO. And it all started there when I was like 14, you know. It took me like 1 year to start participating in LAN tournaments in Poland. So yeah, I was on like nearly 20 LANs in Poland in CS in like, let's see, like amateur league, you know. And I started there. After that, like I kind of improved towards like ESEA, I don't know, main league if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And after that, I just swapped into Turkish game called Zula. CNET also played this game,
Okay.
you know. You probably don't know it.
I've never heard of this one.
Yeah. It was pretty unknown game, you know, and I started playing there, you know, like for organization under the biggest CSGO streamer in Poland, Izak. And I was playing there. We won a few European championships, so this is when I got like my first pretty good experience in esport. And after that, as we know, Project A was released, and this is where all juicy stuff began with my career, you know.
Yeah.
From the second day of beta, Project A, I got it in my heart, you know, and I'm playing until now.
Yeah.
And I'm not thinking about ending it.
Yeah, of course, man. No, that's really interesting. I've not heard of that game before. Of course, I've heard of football. I'm curious to ask you one more question about that. What position did you play, and how did the injury happen? You said you broke your leg. It sounds pretty serious.
Yeah. I always liked being goalkeeper, so
Okay.
that was my position. You know, my favorite one. And well, what happened at school when we were playing football? At physical education, I just kicked the ball wrong. And I broke some bone in my hip. I don't know exactly which one was that in English. So it is what it is. Ambulance got me back to hospital. You know, I nearly had to had surgery. Fortunately, I didn't have to. I just lay in the bed, you know, and that's it. How it all started, kind of. I thought it's at the end of some journey, but at the end it went out that it was beginning of something beautiful, which are happening right now.
We speak about the beginning of your VALORANT journey as something separate then as well. The first big experience that you had on a team, you know, playing competitively was with Ballista, and you took that huge victory against Fnatic. Everyone remembers it for, you know, knocking them out of challenges for the time being. What was that like? How was it playing on that team? Of course, something else important about it is it was, you know, a fully Polish team as well. So it was one which had a bit of national pride about it too.
Yeah, well, Ballista was kind of interesting project because at that time players from every game like Fortnite, CS, other games came into Valorant. Of course, like CS players were like worth more, I could say, to some orgs that were coming into the Valorant, and we were like kind of leftovers, but we still managed to create a team, find a coach, find some org that could actually a little bit help us, you know. It wasn't like something big, but still it was like nice to have something from gaming, even though we couldn't work it out without working. Some of our players were still working, so we were playing at the evenings after their work, you know, after my school, after some other guy's school, and it was pretty hard because you need to wake up at like 6 a.m. and you end around like 1 a.m. or midnight playing. But yeah, we just kept with the flow, and it was pretty hard journey, to be honest. But I loved that we were like all five all the time with the coach, of course, and we just kept going, kept improving all the time, and we didn't expect that we're gonna go that deep into the tournament, and we're gonna like 2-0 the legends, you know. Like, let's be honest, like Fnatic, always pride. It was always proud for me to play against them, and winning against them was wow. I think I remember I cried after this game, you know. We were on the TeamSpeak and we're like, oh my god, we did it. We qualified into Masters, you know. Oh my god, like I remember my parents rushed to my room, like start hugging me because they were watching the other room, and it's still happening. It same thing happened after we won VCT with FunPlus Phoenix when I was subbing, you know. It was all the same. We won the final, and my parents rushed to my room. We all started crying, and it was like it's big step for me when you are going from like not being known at all and winning against Fnatic and qualifying to Masters with top 8 teams in Europe. And after that, like playing, being a little bit leftover in transfer window in other teams, and after that getting chance to sub in FunPlus Phoenix and winning VCT, which was like wow, you know, like it was also like really big step for me, and I'm pretty emotional, you know. People who know me know that I'm giving 100% from myself to the game, and these achievements makes me stronger and emotional.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see as well, especially at the start of the game. You have these really special moments when it was back to being this sort of grand open circuit where any team from anywhere can come through, and there's always a bit of magic with that. You spoke about FunPlus Phoenix a little bit. I want to talk about the other Phoenix, the one in game. You used to play duelist quite a lot, didn't you? But now we have this sort of trademark Omen playstyle where you're going for outplays and stuff. How did you shift from role to role, and is there any chance that we'll get the old BaddyG back?
Well, I was always in CS:GO. I was playing like entry fragger. You know, I like to be in the middle of the fights all the time, like looking for the skills early round. But when I start playing Valorant, also on Duelist, I wasn't big fan of Jet. You know, so I was playing Raze, I was playing Phoenix, and at that time we had a Jet player, so I could play Raze and Phoenix if we needed. So these were like my two main agents, and I really liked them. But and I was pretty good on it, you know. On Phoenix, it was my agent, let's be honest. And well, how I transitioned, well, I think I grew up as a player. You know, I start looking at things that I didn't notice before, which is like wide perspective, what's going on, how we can improve our gameplay as a team, how we can rotate better, and everything. And it started disturbing my like focus on kills, you know. So I started like looking at other things, and I'm just like, I cannot play duelist anymore, you know, because at that time also there was like Jet meta. Jet meta one main duelist and other supporters, you know, like Sky Bridge or something like that. And I didn't like Jet, so I'm like, okay, I'll play Smokes, you know.
Yeah,
and I really liked it. I could like do a lot of things in the same time. I was like looking at the whole map and everything. I'm like, let's do this, let's do that. You can help me with this, and I was like more trying to set my team in proper positions.
Yeah, so I think Phoenix, as many sort of casual players would find as well, is it's an agent which you can sort of get into the game with quite well. But once you had that broad knowledge, you wanted to make the most of it on something else that was maybe honed to your talents a little more. And of course, those talents evidently shone through because you got that opportunity to sub in for FPX, which at the time was sort of the peak of your playing performance.
Yep.
What was the biggest thing that you learned playing alongside a team sort of established at that level in VCT like them?
Well, I also remember before I was picked for sub in FPX. I remember 1 year before I had interview in Polish stream, and they were like, "Okay, so what's your dream team that you'd like to join?" I'm like, "Yeah, FPX. You know, I always loved this playstyle, how they played, like super peaceful, calm, collect. You know, they were ready for everything." And I'm like, "Yeah, FPX. You know." And 1 year later, like nearly 1 year, I'm like, I'm playing there, you know. But yeah, I remember like first pracs when like, of course, Doombros like helped me improve as a player, and everyone helped me, you know. I was finally able to see how proper team works, you know, in this environment, how it should work, how communication should look like, and the support, waiting for retakes and everything. And every day I was learning something new, you know. I don't remember like fully right now, but like also like taking positions and holding them instead of like looking for kills sometimes, so you got some space of the map that you don't need to like give away for one kill and die, you know. Like I would say like being a smart player, you know. I learned that by playing with the smartest player in Europe that time, you know. And yeah, that was like something amazing, and I still remember that very positively. I think it started my pretty big journey, you know, in esports. Like people start recognizing me a little bit more, you know, and that was very valuable lesson for me.
I mean, from that point onwards, then in 2022, you joined Vitality, which is sort of like this legacy org in esports as well that we speak about. One of the big ones that, of course, now are part of franchising. What was it like in that team? I know that you definitely had quite a bit of a team culture, you know, singing songs and stuff when you were at the boot camp. How was it, you know, coming into that roster and being a part of what is sort of, I would say, like your first real big team opportunity within a roster solidified?
Firstly, I hope some members of Golden Hornets are watching. So hello, my brothers. I hope you like it. And well, yeah, like I remember also also story time, like when you watched some big CS games and there is big org vitality, you know, like when they first approach, I'm like, wow, that's something, you know. And yeah, like of course, legacy of the org is, you can feel it, you know, when you are playing for them. The support of fans and the management at that time was pretty important for us. And yeah, the team. Well, of course, it's really good to start playing in a team with world champion. You know, like Bonkel gave me also like a lot of valuable lesson how to play the game, how was his approach and how he sees the game. And of course, like it's important for everyone to get that, you know, so it creates your perspective a little bit wider, you know, and it's easy to adapt a little bit more when you play against different play styles. And well, Sander, like the core of vitality since the beginning of this roster, was also like important for me. He helped a lot with like having like calm atmosphere in the team, you know, when I'm like this crazy guy with nataNk, you know, like doing some fun and everything and being like super loud in the team at that time. And yeah, of course, like still with nataNk, we have like really good connection, as everyone can see probably. And yeah, with Hyber, it was also really good pickup. After at that time, like he was playing, he was subbing for Fnatic on tournament. I don't remember where.
It was
Reykjavik?
Reykjavik, yeah.
Yeah, in Reykjavik. So the roster was pretty good, and I was really happy to play there.
Yeah, you mentioned it a little bit there as well. What's your relationship like with nataNk, of course? Because we saw even at Ascension, you guys obviously have a pretty close bond with one another, which you kept from Vitality. I saw the message up on the screen at the start that you know, sort of that he was your Padawan and that you were the master or something like that. What's that about?
Yeah, it was full joke. Some people took it like wrong, you know, that I'm like putting myself above him, but it's of course like it's not real, and we were always laughing about that because nataNk at the time when we picked him in Vitality, he wasn't playing in any big org and any proper team, you know, that time, and we found him in like some low bottom of East League. I think he was playing Anorthosis Famagusta org, you know,
Yeah.
and we picked him up, and I'm like instantly on the trials. We are like, yeah, this guy knows how to shoot. This guy is communicating properly. I like the chemistry between us, and let's take him. You know, we took him, and it was a good shot. Of course, at the beginning, it was a little bit hard to like create the chemistry because he was like the most unexperienced player in that team, you know, and I was mainly playing with sights on him. So we had at the beginning and in the middle of the time when we were playing, we had some arguments, you know, that were like clearly not personal, just only about like the game. And at the time he couldn't understand kind of some points, you know, but after that, when we left Vitality, he was like, "Buddy, you know, like now I understand why we were talking about some things. I learned that after I left Vitality, and you are fully right, you know." So that's why I was joking a little bit about that Padawan thing, of course, you know. But like this guy improved like from being like a little bit unknown player in the scene to, let's be honest, like a French star, you know. So I'm happy. I'm really happy about him, and I will always follow his career and journey because he fully deserves it.
I mean, it's great to see the development of a player like that, and yourself as well. I think everyone wants a rematch between you two at some point, whenever that may be. Of course, you went on to join Acend, also being another, you know, big org, at least in Valorant at the time, because they were the first team to ever win champions. So there was a bit of a precedent set there, especially about sort of returning to VCT. Those expectations, what's it like moving into a team like that, especially when it's considered to be a super team? You look at Apex and then Acend, I think, from the last Ascension, being one that was sort of purposefully built to get promoted. What's it like being part of that roster and sort of looking around and the scouts being, okay, I want to play with that guy and he's going to be on the team?
Well, as you said, like us and Apex were like firstly put on the like above all of the teams, you know, to get into franchise at the end. No, not even neither of us get there, you know. Yeah, but like joining Hasan was really important, like really big step for me as well, because when I played in Vitality with World Champion as an in-game leader, and now I'm playing with World Champion as a coach, of course, NBS, right? So it's also a big step, and it's also giving you another perspective of someone important in your team, you know. So yeah, I really like the atmosphere in the team, and in Ascend, I think scouting was made really well, and yeah, of course, like we set expectations the highest possible, which is winning Ascension. But I think all of the teams that were winning their regional leagues set this target, you know. At the end, we didn't made it, you know. That's really sad, and it was like full year of hard work put from us, from Gentlemates, from Apex, and I'm pretty sure every one of us deserve to be there. But unfortunately, it's only one spot, so it is what it is. We go next year, hopefully. You know,
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. For now, we are. For now, situation looks like we are gonna play there in next year.
You played in Team Vitality and Ascend, both where you had boot camps, Vitality at the Stade de France, and then the Kingdom facility in Warsaw with Ascend. How would you say that the team chemistry was between both of the teams, the environment? Was it different perhaps from one to the other? Was there more of a focus on certain aspects when you were playing with each set of five?
I think we focus on the same goals in both teams, you know, to like create the chemistry, create our own game style, game plan, you know, how we want to approach the game. Of course, it was a little bit different in both of the teams, you know, I'm not gonna go into full details. Main goals were the same, and of course, like being at Stade de France in Vitality Performance Center, it was like something different, you know. Like when you are coming to bootcamp and in one of the booths there is like Apex playing, I'm like I was watching this guy when I was like 13, 14, 15, and like on the big stage, and right now I'm in the same facility with him and practicing, talking, you know, like that's something that you feel the difference, you know, and you feel accomplishment that you made your career, you made really good choices in your career, and at the end you are here, you know. But yeah, bootcamps were good in both of the orgs. I cannot say anything bad, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, like Stade de France is Stade de France. So the resources are a little bit different, but I remember both, like all the trips very positively.
I guess I can phrase this question then. What would you say is the most important thing to a boot camp? What makes a successful boot camp? And is it, you know, like how do you have fun at a boot camp? Like what's the best way to cool off?
I think to have fun at boot camps is really important how you scout your team at the beginning, how you fit your like players, characters into each other, you know. In both of the teams we didn't have the problem, you know, and it was after the game, during the game you have fun with each other to play, enjoy the game. You don't like, you're not tired of spending time with someone, and after the game you just spend time with each other because it's natural for you, because you like other people, you know, and you like spending time with them. And what's the most important thing on bootcamp, in my opinion, I think team bonding and creating trust that other players have your back when something goes wrong, you know, when you do something wrong in your round, and you know that your teammates are not mad at you, you know, they have your back, and no matter what happens, you are playing as a team, and you win as a team, you lose as a team. If you lose at the end, nothing happened, you know, you just work on things went wrong, and you just keep going, you know, and that trust is important, that support of your teammates is really important, and when you have it, I think team goes on another level instantly.
It's breaking down those walls that you have put up when you're online as well, because you're not getting the same kind of experience when you're in person. So, speaking of in person, then, we have to talk a bit about Ascension. What was it like playing on the stage, your first experience sort of in that arena? How was it?
Well, that was amazing, you know, like first time we come into Berlin and we are going to the venue, and you are there, you know, you like you take the step on the stairs and you see everything, you see the computers, you see like the places for crowd, and you're like, I made it, you know, like I cannot, you cannot wait for the time when you are walking on the stage with the music, people are like screaming, you know, that's the best feeling in the world. That everyone, like, it's probably everyone's dream to be on the stage and play in front of the crowd. So obviously it was something different, and I think the most memorable thing was, even though we lost against Gentlemates, it's like the time when like everyone is like yelling Baddy, 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 you know, and like it was like I got very emotional after that. I still feel like the things on my back right now when I'm thinking about it, you know, like it's super exciting to think about it and have that support from other team fans as well, you know. So yeah, playing on the stage something different for sure.
Yeah, it was something different, and I like how you stepped into that villain role a little bit as well. You had sort of playing up to the crowd quite a bit, sort of. I think it was a few of these that you sort of throwing about
Yeah,
to
the
the
first time we were
fans.
walking on the stage, they were like booing us, so I just took that energy, you know.
Yeah. How is it like putting yourself in that kind of position? Because I guess in a way you put a target on your back by doing that. Of course, it's a bit of fun and games, but there are additional pressures that come with being the villain in the story or the anti-hero. Did you think it perhaps helped you perform a little bit better? Was there certain ways about it that it sort of weighed on your mental, or not really?
It definitely helped me perform better, even though I wasn't fully happy how we as a team and me personally performed at the end on the stage, you know. But like for sure, you cannot fake it. You know, you cannot put the target on your back by fake.
Yeah.
You have to have it, you know, inside that you need to have it. You need to want it, and that's what happened. Like for me, it wasn't my goal to do it, you know, before I was walking on that stage. But like whenever you are standing, the lights are coming through, your camera is in front of you, and the people start booing you. I'm like, yeah, give me more, you know. It hypes me up. It was hyping me up. It was motivating me to destroy them a little bit more at the beginning, you know. And they learned the lesson. They were booing me. I took that energy. We won 2-0. After that, they were scanning us and Acend, you know. And it was like I couldn't take that bad energy, and I took it positively, you know. And at the end, we lost it. But yeah, that's if you think it's natural, you know, and it's hard to fake it by some players. I don't know if someone's faking it, but I think it's just a thing that some people have in their mind, you know, and inside of them.
Yeah, I mean, those games have to be pretty daunting playing in front of a crowd. And I've spoken to some of the other players that were there as well, and they were a little bit surprised by how you're thrown into the game so quickly and that there's not too much time to warm up actually on the stage and that you have to adjust your routine a little bit. Was there anything that you did slightly differently to get yourself in the right mindset for those matches?
Yeah, for sure. I can agree with other players. Like, whenever you are walking in on the stage, like, let's say the game is at like 5, right? And just an example, like makeup starts 2 hours later, you know, like you have like makeup here, you have some interviews, you talk with someone, and you don't have that static routine, so it's important to adjust it properly to your needs. Did I do it properly? Probably not, you know. I think I could do it a little bit better, and most of the players didn't do it properly, you know. You need that experience to know how it works and how you need to be prepared, because sometimes there was situation that like when you warm up on deathmatch in your prac room, the PC is a little bit different or monitor is a little bit different, you know, and you jump out of the practice room, and hour later you are on the stage plugging in everything and you didn't play anything, you know, and you can instantly hear voice in your like headphones, guys, microphone test, this and that, and leave the stage, you know. You have 5 minutes, so you plug in, you warm up like 2 minutes, and you don't have time. You go another 20 minutes, you need to like check everything, and you walk in on the stage, you sit on the stage, and another microphone test, and another 5 minutes of playing, and guys, get ready to lobby, we start soon. And you're like, why? I wanted to warm up a little bit, you know, but it is how it is. You need to adjust to it, and this comes with experience, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, then into the tournament itself, you said about perhaps going back next year and whatever. It didn't go how you wanted to. Is there anything that you would change next time to sort of secure that goal? Anything you think that went wrong that if you could go back, you would do it differently?
If I could do something differently, probably it's between me and my team, you know, what others trust, how we could approach something else, you know, how we could react faster or slower to something, or be more calm, you know. But like, you cannot fix it anymore. You are aware of those mistakes, you are aware of what you would like to change and next time, and yeah, of course there is a list of some players. I mean, some list of what you could do better as a player and as a teammate, you know. And I think like it's really important coming into another season of Ascension.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
But still, transfer window is open, so who
yeah,
knows?
who knows? Nobody knows, right? That's what we've got to put our hands up. We say we have no idea what could happen. But I mean, looking at last year at least, was there any teams that you were particularly excited to face going into that split or the last couple splits?
I think like the most memorable teams we were playing was for me was with Enterprise in East League with Benji. You know, we had some fun together.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I like to bait him a little bit on Twitter, you know. Of course, playing against Apex was really, really cool because, as you said, we were both teams that were like highlighted to win Ascension, you know. So it was like top stake play against each other, you know. And of course, playing as Gentlemates with my friend Nathan was also really memorable for me. And yeah, I think about those games really, really cool.
No, it was good to see them for sure. Out of all of the players sort of in VCT, Valorant, or maybe even back as far as CS, because you were speaking about the experience you had seeing Apex, for example. Is there a specific player that you take inspiration from? If you could look at a player's career and say, that's the guy that I want to be, I want BaddyG to be remembered as this kind of a player, who would you say?
I think there are like different approaches to that, you know. Of course, like everyone would like to be like a simple that is like raw talent going into on the top, or Zaiwu and Nico, like they are like different school of simple because they came from like talent and like working hard all the time to become the best version of themselves, you know. And in Valorant you have some players that are like super calm, like Leo, calm, collected, and like really consistent. That's also important to be consistent as a player, you know. But in other hand, you have like players that inspire you in terms of like being a media guy, you know, in the team that I like to be. Like it's natural for me, you know, to speak out loud and have fun with fans and everything. So Boaster is also like the guy that you can take inspiration from, you know. So probably like if I would go from CS players, then like for sure Nico, Zaiwu, from Valorant, Leo as a player, and Boaster as like media person, you know. Of course, you have like I could highlight many more players, but this is the first ones I can have in my mind. And also like Angel, you know, because he's real captain, real leader. You know, the way how he approached to lead the team is something else, you know, for me.
So I have a couple of questions left. I have the big one and then the bonus question, of course. Whichever order that comes in, you'll have to work out. The first one is, you've sort of lent into it a little bit already, but is there anything that you can share? What is next for BaddyG? Is it go back and do Ascension again? Is there sort of things rumbling on in the background?
We'll see. Like the transfer window is open right now. The changes are happening in Tier 1 in VCT right now, so I got some interest from some orgs. I cannot share the more info. So we will see if it's gonna be positive or not. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. And then the big question.
But future might be exciting.
Hey, we'll have to find out. We'll have to find out. I'm very interested. I've heard quite a few rumors. I won't say any of them here, but of course. Then,
you can say it after the recording.
Yeah,
you know,
we have the big question, of course. I had a few people ask, coming into this interview, I'm going to be interviewing BaddyG. What is the gym routine? How do we get built like Baddy? What are the steps? Is it like, you know, legs, chest? Is there a routine day on day, or is it just go hard every time?
Well, first of all, like I'm really happy that people like asking that, you know, because I started my journey like less than a year ago, you know, going from a guy that like started from the sports to esports, and like because of no time forgot about the sport thing, you know, and like school game, and after that, like between the breaks, you eat some food that wasn't super healthy for you, and I ended pretty bad, you know, with like some additional kilograms, and I'm like right now it's getting better, and like I found a new hobby which is gym, you know, and like getting interest into that. So What's the routine? Well, routine is pretty simple. You go hard all day, every day, 5 days a week. You know, you train hard until you walk out of the gym and you're like you have no idea what's going on around you, and you need a little bit of help to go into the car and go back to home. But yeah, don't skip leg days, guys.
Fair enough. What would you say your favorite exercise is then, if there's one that you had to do for the rest of your life, one exercise only?
Dumbbell chest press.
Okay, okay. That's a pretty noble one. For me, lat pull downs, and as you can see, it's been a long time since I did any of them. But hey, look, I can't compete. I can't compete. Baddy, thank you so much for joining me on the video. If you have
Thank
any
you for
final
having
shout
me.
outs before we leave, now is your time.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're gonna follow us both, and we'll see what happens in next season, because some juicy information might come out. Hopefully positive, so we'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next time.
Thank you very much.